You ever wake up in the morning, look around your room, and it feels like your whole life is kind of floating? Like you're busy but not actually moving forward. You make your bed, you brush your teeth, maybe you scroll through your phone, you think, all right, today I'll get things together. And by the time the day ends, you're sitting there wondering, wait, what exactly did I even do? That's the weird thing about lacking direction. It's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're incapable, it's that without a clear plan, every effort feels scattered. It's like shooting arrows in every direction, but never aiming at a target. You're moving, but where are you going? That's the part nobody tells you. Being active doesn't always mean you're progressing. And when you live too many days like that in a row, you start to feel this quiet frustration. Not loud anger, not explosive stress, just this steady hum in the background of your mind that says, you could be doing more, but you don't even know where to begin. And the thing is, it happens to everyone. You don't have to be in school to feel it. You don't have to be working a 9 to 5. You could be in any stage of life. And if your direction isn't clear, even simple tasks feel heavy. Like, think about cleaning your room. If you don't know where anything goes, if you don't have a system, you'll spend an hour moving socks from one corner to another, and somehow the room still looks messy.
That's life without direction. You're doing work, but there's no structure guiding the effort. Or take exercise. If you just walk into a gym without a plan, you'll spend 10 minutes on the treadmill, wander over to the weights, do a few curls, maybe sit down on a bench and scroll your phone, then leave thinking, well, I guess I worked out. But in reality, you just moved your body around for 45 minutes without building anything. Now here's the funny part. Sometimes we mistake busyness for productivity. It's like when you see someone pacing around the kitchen, opening and closing the fridge, rearranging snacks, and then acting like they've done something important. That's what a lot of people's lives look like when they don't have direction. Constant motion, no outcome. And if you've ever spent a day running errands without a list, you know the pain. You come home, you realize you forgot the main thing you went to the store for, and suddenly the entire effort feels wasted. That's the same frustration you feel when you live without clear goals. You're spending energy, but you're not collecting results. But let me flip this for a second. What's the real danger of living like that? It's not just wasted time. It's the way it eats away at your confidence. Because when you go through enough days of scattered effort, you start believing you're incapable of achieving big things. You start telling yourself, maybe I'm just not disciplined. Maybe I'm not motivated enough. Maybe success is for other people. And none of that is true. The truth is, you're not broken. You're just lacking a compass. Even the smartest person in the world can't reach a destination if they're walking in circles. So, how do you deal with it? That's where things get interesting. Because people think having direction means creating some massive life plan with every detail mapped out for the next 20 years. That's not direction. That's a fantasy. Real direction comes from clarity in small steps. It's deciding, today I'm going to do 3 things that actually matter, and I'm not going to get distracted by 20 random tasks that look urgent but aren't important. For example, imagine you want to get healthier. Instead of saying, I'll be in perfect shape next year, start with, every day this week, I'll take a 30-minute walk after dinner. That's direction. It's not flashy, but it creates momentum. Or let's say you're trying to save money. Instead of stressing about the thousands you wish you had, you start with, I'm not going to spend $5 every day on snacks I don't even need. That's direction. Small, precise, repeatable. And here's something most people don't realize. When you start small with clear steps, your brain builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a small goal, it's like adding a brick to the foundation of confidence. Eventually, those bricks stack up, and suddenly you feel strong enough to handle bigger things. But if you never lay the first brick, you're stuck forever staring at an empty lot, wondering why the house hasn't built itself. Now let me give you a story. There was this guy I knew back in school. Let's call him Mark. Mark was talented in everything. He could play sports, he was good at drawing, he was funny, he was smart. But the problem was, he had no direction. Every week he was chasing something new. One week he wanted to be a basketball player, the next week an artist, the next week a musician. By the end of the year, he had a pile of half-finished projects, half-hearted attempts, and 0 real progress. Meanwhile, another guy, not nearly as naturally talented, decided, I'm going to stick with soccer. He wasn't even good at first, but he kept showing up to practice, kept working on his footwork, and over time he became captain of the team. What's the difference? Direction. One guy spread his energy thin and got nowhere. The other picked a path and built steadily. And you know what's ironic? Sometimes people with the most potential struggle the most with direction, because they're capable of doing many things. They get caught in the trap of choice. Too many options leads to no decision. Meanwhile, someone who has fewer options often locks in quicker, and that's why they move ahead. It's not about being the best. It's about being consistent in one lane. When you lack direction, 3 big problems show up. First, wasted energy. You're constantly starting but never finishing, so your energy drains without results. Second, mental fog. You're always second-guessing, always wondering, is this the right thing? Should I be doing something else? That indecision steals more energy than the actual work. And third, Emotional fatigue. The longer you feel stuck, the more frustrated and defeated you become. But here's the solution that works in the real world. Create anchors. What's an anchor? It's something small and concrete you can hold on to every single day that pulls you back on track. For example, writing down your top 3 priorities every morning before the day starts. That way, even if chaos hits, you've got anchors pulling you toward what matters. Another anchor could be setting a daily ritual, like journaling at night about what went right and what needs adjusting. These little habits keep you tied to your direction, even when distractions try to drag you away. Think about it like driving. If you get in the car without knowing where you're going, you'll just wander aimlessly, waste gas, and eventually run out of fuel on the side of the road. But if you put in the address, even if traffic slows you down, you're still headed somewhere specific. Life without direction is like driving with no destination. Life with direction is like following a map. You may not control the speed, but you know the path. And here's the powerful part. Direction isn't about being perfect. It's about course correcting. Airplanes are off course most of the time. The pilot constantly makes adjustments. But because the destination is locked in, those small corrections eventually land the plane exactly where it's supposed to be. Your life works the same way. You're never going to be on track 100% of the time. Distractions will happen. Plans will change. But as long as you have a destination locked in and keep correcting, you'll get there. Now I want you to picture this. Imagine walking through a forest with no trail. At first, it feels adventurous. You're exploring. But after a few hours, you realize you're lost. You're exhausted. And every tree looks the same. Now imagine walking that same forest, but on a marked trail. It's still challenging, you're still putting in effort, but now there's confidence in every step because you know the trail leads somewhere. That's the difference between living with and without direction. One drains you, the other builds you. So if you're feeling like you're drifting right now, don't overcomplicate it. Pick one clear small step, anchor it, build trust with yourself. Because direction isn't given to you, it's created, one decision at a time. And when you build enough of those small decisions, suddenly you're not floating anymore. You're moving with purpose. And that's when life starts to shift.